Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you are watching this video first time, subscribe my channel to see my more upcoming videos on analysis of different commodities and equity indices. And second important thing is to watch this video till its end to understand this thoroughly to take your decision. Your one like will motivate me to be regular in working more hard for you. Let us see the movements of S&P 500 futures. As I have already discussed in my last few analysis of S&P 500 futures, that the S&P 500 futures are not going to cause this immediate resistance, and here you can see that the formation of a shooting star is evident enough to start a downward move, and S&P 500 futures. Wall Street opened flat today, and Goldman's disappointing results are evident enough of growing disappointment on Wall Street, which is likely to continue during the upcoming week. So friends, I find that this formation is evident enough for the advent of a downward move. Here you can see the current position is still intact in favor of bulls, but the overall trend looks bearish as the S&P 500 futures have found once again a stiff resistance at this level. Let us see this formation with a more clear view. Let me zoom this for you. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures look to start a downward trend. As I find above this level there is a thick presence of bears. If we have a look at the current formation, I find this formation looks like S&P 500 futures are going to complete the shoulder at this point, where I find that the current position of S&P 500 futures at a very critical level, where a downward move below 2886 will confirm the continuity of a downward trend of S&P 500 futures. Let us see this formation in a daily chart, but before proceeding ahead, I would like to tell you that in case the S&P 500 futures break this immediate support, which is at the level of 2718, we will see the S&P 500 futures to move more downward with a steep downward move, and finally they may take a strong support at the level of 2463, where I find that if the S&P 500 futures are able to find a strong support at this downward trend line, no doubt that if the S&P 500 futures are not able to sustain at 2720, we will see the S&P 500 futures to move more downward with steep downward moves. Now let us see this move in a daily chart. Here you can see that currently the formation of a shooting star in a daily chart is looking to keep the bearish pressure, that the formation of a shooting star once again at the current levels is evident enough to keep the S&P 500 futures under pressure in the absence of any encouraging efforts from the US government, which looks to keep the falling index. And in the daily chart, I find that the steep fall in the S&P 500 futures may find their first support at 2857, but in short term I find the S&P 500 futures may break this immediate support to see more downward levels, where I find a strong support at 2759 in a daily time frame. Now let us see the current move in an hourly chart. Here you can see that the 20 days exponential moving average has come below the 20 days moving average, and the formation of this bearish long hammer in an hourly chart and followed by one more bearish hammer is evident enough for the continuity of this steep fall. No doubt that this downward move will create some more panic in the other global equity markets of the world, and I find that most of the global equity markets are currently at their highest levels I find thick presence of bears in most of the equity markets of the world. No doubt that the downward move of S&P 500 futures will ignite this bearish trend in other global equity markets of the world, because the formation of this bullish hammer along with the quantum of steep fall looks to continue, and I find that this fall is likely to continue during some more trading session of this week, because the fear of global recession is all over the world, as most of the central banks have adopted accommodative policy on rate cuts, which indicates their intention to be cautious with growing concerns over global slowdown. No doubt that this steep fall will encourage gold bulls to go long from the current levels, as the gold futures have already in the oversold territory, and I find that most of the central banks will come forward to go long in gold futures. Now let us see that in an hourly chart, if the S&P 500 futures fall below the 200 days moving average, it means if they break the levels of 2886 within next few hours, which will confirm the continuity of a steep fall tonight. Now let us see the movements of S&P 500 index. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures are looking for a downward move tonight, and I find that once they are able to break the levels of 2886, I find that the S&P 500 index will confirm the continuity of a downward move, and no doubt that the immediate support levels of 2867 may be breached within the next few hours, and I find that a downward move below the 200 days moving average, which is currently at the level of 2836, and I find that a downward move below the levels of 2831 will confirm the continuity of a downward move and S&P 500. So friends, be ready to see an action in S&P 500 futures, because it is very important to keep a visual eye over the movement of S&P 500 futures tonight, because a downward move at this critical juncture when most of the global equity indices are at their peak levels will create panic all over the world. So we will have to keep a visual eye over the next action in S&P 500. So friends, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.